Yeah. Hey, it's Mike Brennan. We're doing a special 420 post with Jacob Sworski, who's the managing partner of Iconic Real Estate. And the reason we are is Iconic has gotten into cannabis real estate, which of course is very big right now in the state of Michigan. Some people predict that this year alone that the adult use market will sell $1.5 billion worth of cannabis. And of course, there's still several hundred licenses out there to be approved by the MRA. And of course, they need provisioning centers. So that takes us back to you. So when these facilities begin to look for a grow facility location, when these provisioning centers do, I should say, what does the owner need to look for in that property?
Well, again, thanks for having me, Mike. And first and foremost is, the short of the answer is compliance. And what I mean by that is ensuring that the selected municipality or city has opted in and is pro-cannabis, and the property of subject is within the correct zoning. Second, we tend to really heavily focus on the amount of power the property has, as the possibilities of obtaining additional power if needed to, along with the costs associated with it. There has been instances where the property is simply too far away from a power station, and getting more power is challenging. And then thirdly, would be your standard SOPs and choosing and having the right legal team who can really make or break you, who specialize on Michigan cannabis. And with respect to the features of the property is the ceiling height, the amount of, the appropriate amount of parking, which a lot of municipalities are now dictating, and, overall well-structured and well-designed and a good roof.
So is it best to rent or buy?
Well, I think that's a loaded question, and it really depends on a group or an individual and their overall business plan, goals, objectives, and most importantly, financial position or strength. Buying a building, building it out, and making it operational is a substantial investment. So if someone has limited capital and needs to preserve that capital in order to become operational first and as quick as possible, it might be a good idea to rent first, become operational, and purchase a property later at a later time. In my opinion, however, based on the amount of the investments that these properties take in order to make them operational, if you have the capability, it's always better to buy, as you're investing in yourself, your own building, instead of landlords.
All right. So how do appraisals for cannabis properties differ from more traditional real estate appraisals?
Well, so since, as of right now, we can't get your traditional financing for cannabis transactions yet, your traditional appraisals are really not necessary. The market is really driven and set by the supply and demand of cannabis properties. And we as brokers, our clients rely on us to give them BOVs and our opinions of value in order to make sure that we are and they are in the most competitive position possible.
Are cannabis real estate transactions part of the public record?
So historically, they have not been. They were always kind of under the radar. But since the industry and since the rapid growth in the industry, they are becoming more and more of a public record. With title companies are handling cannabis transactions nowadays, where before they could not. Title insurance is something you can get on a cannabis transaction or property where before you were not able to. So to answer your questions, it's becoming more and more of a public record.
And over the next 5 years, how do you see the cannabis real estate commercial market that is shaking out? Of course, as we all know, the Democrats have taken over Washington, at least for the next 2 years. They tend to be a lot more pro-cannabis than the Republicans have been. What do you think?
I agree with you. I'm right alongside of you. I think 2021 is yet going to be another record year for the cannabis industry. I don't think there's any hiccups or any hurdles in the upcoming years. And more and more cities across the state and across the country are opting in, whether it's for medical or recreational cannabis. And again, to add to the administration point, I think that will only uh, help with the push and with the rapid growth in the industry overall.
All right, Jacob Sworski from Iconic Real Estate. How do people reach out to you to work with you?
Well, they can find us on our website, iconicrealestate.com. Email me directly at jacob@iconicdet.com or call me directly at 248-890-7413.
This has been Mike Brennan with a special edition of 420 Post.